What's up, everyone? Welcome to the High Pasture Podcast Season 2. I'm your host, Daniel K., and we're here with another amazing guest, Red Eye Raven.
Hi, guys. I'm Red Eyed Raven.
Raven is the creator and host of cannabis-infused events such as Kink, Canna Anime, and more, and she's here to tell us about everything she's got going on and what she's planning next. Let's get into it. Thanks for coming out. It's been awesome chatting with you, seeing your events. You know, you're blended into the community, dealing with all the same people we're all chatting with, you know, down at Dankforth, all those people. Mad love to all of them. Glad to just get you out here. Tell the people a little bit about what Red Eye Raven is, what you do, where it came from.
Yeah. So, Red Eyed Raven, I'm 33. I'm Jamaican, Trini, born in Toronto.
Yeah.
And I mainly use cannabis for medical reasons.
Okay.
So that's kind of where that whole thing really started. And I host cannabis events.
Yeah.
So I host Cannabis and Kink, Cannabis and Anime, Cannabis and Music, and I plan on doing all things cannabis related, because stoners just we do so many things when we smoke weed, right? So There's just so much stuff to do. So that's just kind of where I'm at right now. I also do edibles as well. So.
Yeah, so that's, I was just gonna ask, because we talked briefly on the phone before, but your name, the Red Eye Raven,
yes,
that came from your edibles originally?
Yeah, so so the Red Eyed Raven came from me smoking outside. It's kind of a weird story. Okay. So I would be in the wintertime smoking outside, like with my big Udi, like those big giant like sweaters, and like with 3 blankets on top of me, literally in the dead of winter. My mom would come home and she'd be like, "You look like Brom from Game of Thrones." So the three-eyed raven. So she's like, "You look the three-eyed raven." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm like the red-eyed raven." And then
there you go.
That's kind of where that came from. When I started doing edibles, I was like, "What name am I going to choose?" And then
it just clicked.
That's the one that I
That's
chose.
funny, because I thought you were going to say, because I've experienced myself when you're outside in the cold smoking, and then you come inside, how red your eyes and how high hits you. So that's actually where I thought it came from. But that's funny that the little bronze story.
yeah, it's kind of random how that happened. So, but yeah.
And then what type of edibles are you producing under the Red Eye Raven brand?
Yeah, so I try to stay away from the typical like brownies, cookies, gummies thing. So I like to make like infused cotton candy. That's where like my side cotton candy business came from as well. I like to do like cheesecakes. I like to do like savory stuff. So like macaroni pie, barbecue sauce for like ribs and all kinds of things like that. So my vibe is trying to infuse a bunch of things that you don't typically see.
You know and even mean? I see even with the way you're doing the events, that's kind of seems to be the angle you're taking at it, is that what haven't they combined it with yet?
Yeah.
Why hasn't this crossover between this community? Because, you know, anime community, the kink community, the music community, all of these communities are so such strong communities in themselves.
Exactly.
That bringing those the two things together is just like, why isn't it happening already?
And that's the thing. I was like, really? Why? When I think about it, even like to this day, because I started like the events in 2023, I'm thinking like, why hasn't anybody done more? Like, it's always a market and it's always a comedy show, which is great. We love markets, we love comedy shows, but as stoners, we do so much. Like
everything.
Like literally, we smoke and do everything. Yeah. So it's like, why aren't the events kind of centered that way? Why aren't they a little bit more interactive for the guests to actually do more than just buy weed, right?
Yeah, show up to a market, listen to a comedy show or a rap an artist.
Exactly.
And you know, like, obviously cannabis has always been tied into that scene, so it makes sense. But it's, you know, it's about time we have something new, and I love it. It's a great idea, and I'm glad that you're out there doing that for the people. So
yeah. So my whole thing is, what's like something different, what's something new. So I take with my edibles and I take it with the events. So and that's actually why I did the music event. Like, that was the most recent one. That's why I didn't. Yeah. That's why I didn't start with that, because music and cannabis is kind of something that's already been done.
Absolutely.
Like, whether it's been like officially done or not.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Absolutely. So that's kind of why I waited for that.
Those two cultures are more blended, especially than if you're talking, you know, the anime and the kink cultures.
Exactly.
The, you know, music and cannabis is way more blended already. So it makes sense that you put your foot forward doing the other two, and then now you have this as well, which why not? It's
Yeah.
something you're interested in, and cannabis should be involved as well. So.
Exactly. I was running into way too many people that were into cannabis and kink. I was like,
Yeah.
y'all are kinky and you
Yeah.
love weed. So there's something here, you know. At first I thought it was
Absolutely.
just like too random of an idea, but then it was weird. The more like I was really thinking about, I want to do this. Like,
Yeah.
I actually want to host an event because I was just a vendor at events. That's kind of how that started. I just seen that the events were all kind of the same, and I'm like, we can do a little bit more with that. And I just kept running into a lot of kinky folks, and
Yeah.
I was like, let's do this. Like, who's actually interested in this? I got like a good following, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, it's time to do it. So.
Absolutely. Well, even the one guest, the person that I've seen before, I met her at Oasis.
Right.
At you had at one of your events.
Mhm.
What was her name? She did the belly dancing.
Samara.
Samara.
Yes.
So yes,
Yes.
we talked about that before, and that was the first time I saw her at Oasis randomly on a random
Mhm.
night. And then I'm at one of the cannabis events, and I see her dancing there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a second, this community is connected. This is
Literally,
like,
yeah, very
and then
much so.
Literally 2 weeks later, I somehow got your account advertised to me with the Canna Kink stuff, and I was like,
Right.
wow, these are just everything's connected and like it's supposed to.
No, seriously, and that's how it was. After I did the events, I ran into even more people and more. So it's like it's here. It's a market.
Yeah.
So let's actually get this thing going.
And then the anime as well.
The
amount
anime-
of people that I know that smoke a bunch of weed and watch anime, but I've never heard of anyone connecting the two like legitimately. Like obviously a bunch of people smoke some weed and go to the whatever the what's the conference?
Like Comic-Con
Thank
and
you.
things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, of course.
Like, obviously,
Yeah.
but like to make an event that is the two combined.
Yeah, like come on, nerdy stoners, like we're here.
Strong.
We love anime. And I know we're all, and the thing with like that is, so with kink it's very taboo, which is another reason why I wanted to bring people together so
Yes.
people can like, where do we find each other? People don't really want to talk about if they're into it because their friends, as soon as they kind of bring it up, their friends are like, that's
it's a difficult.
They look at you kind of sideways,
100%.
right? And then with anime, people are still kind of stuck with the whole like, they were a geek, so they kind of hit it, that they enjoyed it.
Yeah,
so people kind of just smoke weed at home by themselves watching it.
Yeah.
So I want to bring people like, let's come together as a community and sit down, watch it together. Let's debate let's talk about it and listen to music.
Yes.
And let's dress up, cosplay. I'm actually wearing a Nico Robin cosplay from
go.
One Piece right now. I decided to dress up for it.
I like it.
But yeah, so the anime community has been really, really cool, connecting with them. And that has just like brought a whole new group of people to the cannabis side.
Absolutely.
Because I also noticed, like, as you mentioned, like we're kind of running into a lot of the same people, which is great, like, because you're building community. But I noticed that it kind of hit a bit of a wall in terms of how much new people are being introduced. So it's nice to reach out to other communities and bring them into the cannabis community, and they're like, what the hell is this? They're like, you're smoking, you're able to smoke, enjoy, and like there's vendors here. Like they had no idea that this whole world was out here as well, right? So
absolutely, it's huge. And even on that same topic, but basically reverse, growing up in the hood, people that watched anime didn't want people to know that they watched anime.
Yeah, of course.
We could tell everyone we smoke weed, but we didn't want to go out on the block talking about I'm watching anime at
Unless
home.
It was like, Dragon Ball Z or Sailor Moon.
It's true. This is very
Those
true.
Those two were like the socially acceptable
They had a pass.
ones where it's like you can run home, watch it. Everyone was talking about what happened with, you know what I mean?
That's funny. So true. And then I don't know, something happened where everybody just like, no, anime is cool now.
Yeah, no, exactly. It just something happened along the line, especially the last few years, where it just kind of switched and
now everybody's open about it. So
very much.
Hopefully you can do the same for the kink community.
Yeah.
Amazing. But
I agree, because I think like sex is just so taboo and people are so quiet about it, but it's like everybody has sex. So everybody has sex.
Crazy.
So it's like, why are we not?
We wouldn't be here without it.
Yeah, exactly. None of us would be here without it. So it's like, why aren't we talking about it more? Why aren't there more spaces where we can kind of learn more about it? Because I find there's a lot of people that are like, they're curious, they want to know, but they don't know where to go, who to talk to.
It's intimidating. I could say that for sure. Being someone who's like gotten briefly into like seeing what the lifestyle is about and going to the clubs and stuff like that and just being around it, like it's very intimidating at first, and having something like what you're doing to bridge that gap, and then create those connections, you know,
Yeah.
like people are very comfortable with their cannabis use. Now they're meeting people that are involved in the kink community and can guide them to, I don't know if safer's the right word, but
Right.
like a more gentle experience or
Hmm.
introduction into it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Rather
Yeah.
than just walking into like
I agree.
Oasis or M4 by yourself or like
Yeah.
with one friend, and it can be a bit overwhelming for sure.
Yeah, no, no, I agree. I agree. So, and that's kind of the purpose, is to kind of like have it a bit of a, instead of just like being thrown to the wolves, it's
Yeah.
kind of like, you get to dip your toe into it and slowly like immerse yourself into the water, as opposed to just kind of like jumping straight in,
And then if you
which can
want to
be,
pursue it more,
yeah,
like you're saying October 25th, you have your next your Can of Kink event,
yes.
or what's the full event?
Yeah, yeah. So that event is going to be fun. So the Canna Kink events were on a pause for a bit. So we're bringing them back finally.
Yes.
People have been messaging me like I was getting emails consistently about when this event was coming back, right?
Good.
So this event is going to be a crossover, and it's going to be a crossover with the kink and the anime,
Yeah.
and music is just a part of both of those. So
Of
it's just
course.
kind of like goes hand in
Blended in.
hand. So yeah, so it's episode 6, the anime Asylum,
Yeah.
Kink and Kush. So Halloween crossover.
There you go.
It's gonna be a really, really good time, right?
Yeah.
So there's a huge crossover between not just cannabis and anime and cannabis and kink, but between anime and kink.
That
is
one,
huge, right?
especially if you're talking in the cosplay community and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I mean, to me, it's a clear connection.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I
There's a
mean?
very obvious connection between the two.
Yeah.
Even with just like hentai, right? Like there's that
Huge.
as well, right? But like a lot of the cosplayers and stuff, they have like, they have their not safe for work, pages and things like that,
Yes.
right? So I was like, there's a lot of cosplayers that are also into kink, right? And like the whole dressing up factor,
That's
right?
where
And
it all
like,
comes together,
the
you
cute
know?
outfits, or you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
I was like, there's a major overlap here.
Yeah.
So Halloween just kind of makes it, it's a
Even
smart time to
better.
do
I love
it.
Halloween.
More
So.
people want to dress up,
Yes,
right? So it's more encouraging for people to dress up.
Which is huge.
People are a little bit more comfortable to dress a little bit more slutty too. So
Absolutely.
when I have the kink events, people are like, they want to dress up. They want to dress up in the lingerie, but they're like,
It's a little nervous.
it's a little nerve-wracking,
Yeah.
right? And I tell people, like, dress how you want to dress, like, come as you are, bear as you dare vibes, right? Like, there's a bathroom, you can always change. You can always change to take off a little bit more, or put more on, like, depending on how you feel, right? Yeah. So you never, you never know, but I always want people to feel like comfortable in that aspect.
That's the biggest thing in those spaces as well. And anybody that doesn't know, if you haven't been in those spaces, comfort, consent, all of those things are number one.
Yes.
It comes before anything else.
Mhm.
So the fact that you're spreading that message to people is good, because
absolutely
you need that for the comfort. And then the way that you're doing it is what I'm appreciative of, because you're having the main event, and then the next day you're like, hey, if you met people you liked, you had a good vibe, we're all gonna go to Oasis and do an after party and do this, and no pressure. But it's following that path of that light introduction,
right?
And like, this is just a community, this is another community, and this is just another thing that we all do that shouldn't be so taboo. It really shouldn't.
No,
but
exactly. And that's the thing. So with the after parties, I feel like that's another important aspect, because people are like, oh, like, are people like having sex at the event?
Yeah.
No, not unless you're part of the exhibitionist meets voyeur segment, right? It's not a play party. I guess in the kink world, you can call it more of like a munch, where it's like, people are meeting, there's performances and such like that. So it's a good place for people to connect, build, meet other like-minded people, so that they can talk about their kinky stuff without, having to like keep it inside or whatever.
Yeah.
It's also good for a safety factor. When you have people you can talk to, you can be like, hey, I'm going to meet this person here. And, because telling your friends sometimes
it's a little more awkward.
Your sexcapades can be a little bit more awkward,
fair
right?
enough.
So the aspect of going to Oasis afterwards, people are a little bit hot, bothered, and they want to kind of continue the night.
Yeah.
They may have met somebody at the event, or they have their partner, and they're like, okay, now I actually feel more comfortable knowing
around
that
these
there's going to be
people.
other people going to, Oasis. I don't have to kind of go by myself.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's not necessarily going with people that I directly know. So I can still, if I
It
want to,
gives that
if I want to get a little bit freaky, it's
space.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I find, I wasn't too sure how the after parties were going to go, if people were going to actually go or not. But
Yeah.
surprisingly enough, people were very much interested.
I think you're providing something that it's like it's a gateway into it where it's like I get to go in, like you said, with somebody that's not my friend, but I met you, we talk face to
Right.
face, I'm
Mm-hmm.
comfortable. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
to go there and like I don't know, sit in a corner and like try to I don't know what everyone's experience is like there,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
you walk into this place like that your first time with nobody
It
it's
can be, yeah, it
but
could
how do you start? That's why
exactly.
I like at Oasis they do those like the icebreakers and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. Like a lot of other
Yes.
clubs don't do that. Um,
That's another reason why that's a choice,
yeah,
right? Like people ask me
absolutely.
why don't I go to the other clubs or anything like that? Because there is X Club, there's
Yep.
M4, there's a few other ones, but I find Oasis is a great place because uh there's so many things to do that isn't just straight
Play.
sex right in your face.
So yeah,
Because that can be very intimidating and people are less likely to want to actually get there. And I
fair.
find that when you're going to a sex club, have the mindset, especially if you're going like single, have the mindset that you're just going there
No
to connect.
expectations.
Don't have
It's
expectations
the
because
worst thing you
that's
can do.
where the letdowns
Yeah.
and you might not have a great night and whatever else. Go with the intention of just meeting people, connecting.
Having a good time.
And
Oasis, go
usually
for a swim.
exactly, and that's the thing. Oasis, like you said, it has a pool that's
Yeah.
heated all year round, I might add,
Yeah,
right?
that's a
So dead of
clutch.
winter, it could be minus 30 degrees and
It's
you're in the
probably
pool.
more calm then too. Actually, I've never
Yeah.
thought about it like that. If you
Yeah.
wanted a calmer experience, it's a
Hmm.
super busy place in the hot summer.
Yeah, it's actually busy in the winter too.
Is
It's
it?
funny enough.
Wow.
Yeah, it is more busy like on a consistent basis, but you'd be surprised. I
Yeah.
think it's just because it's winter and everyone's kind of cooped up, so they want something to do.
Fair, fair.
Yeah, and then when they hear that the pool's like heated and legitimately like it's like it could be dead ass cold and the pool is hot, right? So people
Yeah.
are just like they love that, right? Then there's the hot tub, there's the sauna, there's when you walk in, there's like the pole dancing area,
Yeah.
there's 3 floors, so
It's a
there's the
really
ballroom
cool
area
building.
where like at 10 p.m. they have like their performances
The
and things like that, the
icebreakers.
icebreakers where it
Yeah.
makes it easier for people to meet. And then they have like their dungeon room. I love that they have themed rooms as
It's
well.
cool.
The shag and wagon they have
Shag.
upstairs. They have the red room that has like the little peak things, right? And the
It's a cool
big
place.
bed areas. So um I just find that it's a very cool place that has a lot of different places that makes it easy for people that are really new to kind of immerse themselves in a more comfortable way.
Yeah.
They have the aquaforts there that are there to help, and like they do the tours, and if you want help, if you want to do a scene but you want to be safe, they're there for that too.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, they have Tuesdays, the DTF nights for girls that want to get gangbanged or whatever else,
Yeah.
but they don't have their friend with them because they don't want somebody to know that they're
So
doing
you
that.
go to the aquifers
Yeah,
and
you go to
like
the
have
aqua.
a safe experience.
Exactly. So that's why, and that's not to say that you can't do that for the other places. I just find that Oasis has a lot of different things going
Yeah.
on that make it easier and more comfortable for people to want to do those things.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I choose that for our
Yeah,
after
and
parties.
it's like you said, it's just not as just focused on the play. It's
Exactly.
everything else. Like, let's make
Exactly.
a community out of this,
Ex-
like you're doing with all of your events.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And I find that Oasis has like a really good community on its own. When you go there, you see that people are there. They're already talking to each other. Like, I'm tend to be on the, where the patio is where you can smoke,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Go smoke some weed.
exactly. And that's where you find a whole bunch of other weed smokers. Like I could sit out there and people will just be coming out smoking weed and I'll be telling them about my events and they're like, what?
I'll
Like
see you there. Apparently.
exactly.
That's
Exactly.
funny.
So anyways, that.
When did you do your first event? I mean, and which one was it? Was it a Can of Kink or
Yeah.
an anime? Or...
Yeah, so it was Cannabis and Kink, and that was in July, actually. So that was July of 2023,
Okay.
I believe. Yeah. So
Doing it a couple years now.
yeah, I've been a couple years, and then there was a pause for a bit. So we did a pause for about a year, and so now it's being brought back. So that was the very very first one.
Awesome.
There was, I want to say, 12, 11 or 12 of the kink events
Oh, wow.
themselves. There is 7.
Yeah, you said this is episode
7. Yeah, so it's episode 6 but 7 because we
6,
started
sorry.
at 0. So we had a
Gotcha.
pilot episode. But yeah, so there's been a good chunk of events, and then we had the 2 music events as well. So we had the Solcana during Caravana.
Yep. I've heard was a great event.
Yeah, it was a good time, both of them.
Yeah.
And I plan to do like just all different genres. I want to have like playlist events where people can like, put in like 5 songs or whatever, and have like little playlist battles or whatever. Like I just want to do like a whole bunch of different stuff. Record, like have people bring in their records, vinyls, like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
so
that's another world. I love that. That's a great
idea. yeah. So for the music events, I'm very, very, very excited. I just kind of wanted to start with something like really fun that I love. Like I love like soca, reggae, dance hall. Like it was around Caravana time, right? So I feel like it was the perfect timing, right? So
and everyone likes to dress up for those too. So
exactly. I wore my Caravana costume. A few of the girls wore their costumes too and stuff like that. So yeah, we made it a good time. We made it a good time for sure.
What's been your favorite event that you've thrown so far? Obviously, planning for better and more. But
yeah, favorite event. Honestly, the Cannabis and Kink and the anime ones. They're just so fun. So like for the Cannabis and Kink, we do stuff that's called like Neo-Tamari, so that's the body food table, right?
Okay.
So Neo-Tamari is a Japanese, like an ancient Japanese tradition that the samurais used to do when they would win, when they'd win a battle, they'd come back and celebrate by having Neo-Tamari. So they would have like a woman that is completely naked, and she'd be covered in sushi, and you can eat off of her body, and that's how like that would have like a big feast and celebrating, right?
I mean, good celebration.
Right? So so I've always been intrigued by that. So we tend to start our events off with like a Neo-Tamari, so like a body offering. We did start off with sushi, and then we kind of changed it to like sweets and desserts and stuff like that. So we have MJ doing that this time, so I'm very excited. MJ, she's in the kink world, but she's also in the cannabis world. So she's cool. I can't wait so shout out to MJ. So excited to be eating food off of her. She's a hot one.
What's her socials, just for the people? Or
yeah,
not, we'll plug it after.
Yeah, we'll plug it after. MJ's VIP, something along those lines. But we'll be sure to tag her because she's a baddie. So you got to make sure you guys follow her. Genuine, just energy. So yeah, we do the body food table, and then we have exhibitionist meets voyeur. So that's where exhibitionists are people that like to have sex in front of people,
show off.
Or just show off, whatever. And then there's a voyeurist, people that love to watch, right?
Okay.
So that's kind of why we named it, like we chose that to name it that.
Yeah.
And we have guests that really enjoy doing certain things and want to perform. So those have been very interesting, very spicy. For one of our Halloween events, they did like she was in a nun outfit, and then there was like one guy was kind of like the Jesus aspect, and the other one was like the devil aspect. And
we pushed the boundaries.
We pushed the boundaries with that. We had to put put a warning for that, just like like we don't want to be disrespectful to anybody's religion, so we're just gonna let you guys know that we're having a very particular scene for this one.
Yes.
If you're going to feel disrespected, maybe this is not the event for you.
Yeah.
And we're always very careful to do that, I want to add as well.
Absolutely. Which is, it's important.
To let people know, like, this is kind of what's going on. This is what to expect. And right before we're doing scenes, this is what might be happening in the scene in case you want to, like, walk away and this is not something you want to watch or whatever else.
And again, playing on that comfort and consent. Like consent for watching as well.
Consent. And
we're going to be doing this in the room that you're in. If you're not okay with that, we need to, make a solution.
Yeah, exactly.
To make everyone comfortable.
Exactly. So
awesome.
Consent is one thing that's huge. I always say that for the kink events, for the anime events, for all events.
Yeah,
like
literally.
It should consent to be something for everything. It really shouldn't be something that I should have to say. But in the vanilla world, it's there's a lot of things that people are just kind of deemed as okay or whatever else, but in this world it's like you're not going to be doing any of those things unless you've gotten a clear yes, and anything other than a yes is a no.
Yeah.
So a smile is not a yes. A ha 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 is not a yes. You know what I mean? So we're very, very clear about that. But yeah, so like even with the scenes, we're very consent based, letting people know that this is what's going to be going down. So that's always fun. And then with the anime events, I just love how people like get so into their cosplays. Like people are very dedicated, like very, very dedicated with their cosplays. Like they put a lot of time and effort. Some of them are working on their cosplays for months, right? And just like one girl showed up with her Godzilla costume and it was so huge. I felt so bad. I was like, I'm so sorry. This venue is not big enough for you, for it. Like, she still put it on and, she walked through, but she had to take her tail off because the tail was like, it was
massive.
It was super huge, but it was like lit up. And I was just like, oh my God, like, it was insane. One person has like their berserk outfit, like so Guts cosplay and like his sword, like that is just super, super big as well. And he had the whole thing 3D printed and just like, it was insane. So
it's like art for their costumes.
It literally is. It's a whole like, people just think, oh, like there's people just like, it's a hobby. It's a hobby, but it's also like a whole profession as well. Like it's a serious talent and craft that people are doing.
I think people are so quick to be like, oh, it's a hobby and not realize like how passionate people can be about their hobbies.
Yeah.
Like, a hobby can be something that you put your life's work into. Like
exactly. Exactly.
And so quick to be, oh, it's just a hobby. And it's like, well, yeah, but like I spent months doing this and I really enjoy it and I really care about it. And
a lot of time, effort, money, and blood, sweat, and tears. Absolutely. And like when you're 3D printing as well. So for people that don't know, 3D printing, like there's a lot of trial and error. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these things that people are creating, there isn't an already set up file. Some things already have a file, but some things don't. So they're like
create it.
Exactly. They're creating it and then they're having to do it over and over and over again until it's right. And then sometimes they get it right and then they fit it to their next part and then that's not right. And they have to redo it all over again and tweak it.
Money.
It all costs money. So it's just so for the anime events, I really, really love the aspect of the cosplayers, particularly. Cool. I love just sitting, smoking weed, and we're watching an episode, and everybody's just like enjoying it because I know we're all doing this usually by ourselves, just like loners or with our 1-2 friends, like you know what I mean. So for people to really come together, the community-based aspect, and just like we're all smoking weed, and people are just like, I can't believe. Are we really smoking weed?
What is going on
all
here?
Together? Like, you know what I mean?
Like you said, not enough people know that world exists.
Exactly.
And it's awesome that you're out there putting it out there to more people and combining it with all these other different communities. It's awesome. I've dove so deep into this cannabis community itself that it's just refreshing to have something new.
Yeah.
So, like you said, there's a lot of markets, there's a lot of events, and they've been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
And they're lots of fun.
So much fun.
Comedy shows are great.
Love it. I love to laugh.
But now, but we need something fresh.
Exactly. So for me, I was just like, how is this really the very first event ever
it's actually surprising.
in the world? Like, there's never been a cannabis and anime event. There's never been a cannabis and kink event where people are just like putting them together.
It's that, I mean, especially if you're talking about the Western world, the negative connotation around cannabis that no one wants to combine it. And no one wants to put their name just in case. You know what I mean? Even for us, getting promotion on YouTube, we can't do. Trying to, like, all these different things. I'm always, as you just dealt with, fighting with Instagram about things getting taken down. Very relevant. Raven's page, just two of your pages.
Yeah, two of them.
Two of your pages just got taken down.
Yeah, they got taken down. I did get them back. Okay, I did get them back. And it's just like, gosh.
It's constant.
It's constant. It's constant. It's so frustrating. And I just really wish... guys, whoever's doing it, just please leave me alone. Like, imagine hating on me and I'm just like this, smoking my weed. Like, please stop. Like, it's just crazy. You know what I mean?
It's nuts.
And I don't know what it is, right? Like, it's just, I'm just here, like, making my edibles and just trying to create events for people to just bring people together and have a good time and just vibe out.
Two guests ago, we had someone on, and he said it the best. You know, you got to stop fucking with your friends. Shout out Bud Tender Dad.
Bud Tender Dad. Oh my gosh. He is fighting the good fight.
He's fighting the good
Love
fight.
It. Yes.
He's really putting his name where his mouth is, or whatever, however you say that saying, his money where his mouth is. He's fighting. He posted, and he ats the OCS. He ats all the people that matter. They took his account down again the other day, and he fought to get it back, and he's still fighting. And he, like I said, he said it best. Stop fucking with your friends, even if you don't like what they're doing, even if you don't agree with what it is.
Exactly.
We don't report people. We don't call the cops. We're not from that community. Yeah. This is not what we do. If you have a problem, send a message. We
Literally,
can talk.
Talk to me about it. Like,
it's fine. We're people. We're super chill people. We smoke a lot of weed.
That's the thing. Like, it's right. And so sometimes when I think about it, and it's like people that are smoking weed that are reporting me, I'm just like,
it blows my mind.
Maybe we need to smoke different weed. Maybe you need some of this platinum or something. You know what I mean? Because it's, why are we so angry and mad? Like, you know what I mean? If it's because I'm on the legacy side or whatever, and you're on the legal side,
both of us wouldn't exist without each other.
The two go hand in hand.
I don't like that separation.
I don't like it either. Like, if I can have my way, I would have both people together, and you know, and I have
part
had
of the cannabis community.
Yeah, and I have had people on the legal side in some aspects, you know, participating in ways that they can and whatever else, like, you know what I mean. And it's just
there's no, honestly, and I can see it from you. There's no hate on this side for that. Like, I'm about legal, legacy, whatever, as long as you're a positive influence in this community.
Exactly.
As long as you're
doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing for the community.
That's all that matters.
You're not on the negative side or whatever else.
All that matters, you know?
That's literally all. Like,
and we can have different opinions.
Yeah.
That's allowed.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's lost a lot nowadays. Is, you have a different opinion. Report.
Yeah, and it's like, why are we doing that?
No.
Like, there's a lot of things that I don't agree with. Like, I don't have alcohol at my events.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Huge. And a lot of people have a lot of things to say about it. People will be like, oh, you know what would make your event better? Alcohol.
Yeah.
Or they'll be at the event, hey, is there, where can I get alcohol? I'm like, sorry, like, there is none. And, I'll be sure to say it on the post and in the, on the Eventbrite, like, things like that. But people just like, they're like, really? Like, no alcohol? Like, you're being, like, you were, like, yeah, I wasn't just not saying that, like, as a front, you know what I mean? Like, no, there really is no alcohol at my events. It's very important to me. Because you can throw a rock and find a bar or whatever, and now corner stores that have alcohol, everywhere. Like, you don't need, like...
We don't need to provide it.
You don't need that. And if that's what you want, there's so many places you can go. Absolutely. Like, if you want to be kinky and have alcohol, you can go to one of the sex clubs. They have alcohol there. You know what I mean?
It's just not the space you want to create.
It's not the space I want to create, and it also brings negative stuff as well. Absolutely. And I want it to be positive. I want it to be a good time. I want it to be focused around weed. Yeah. There's another reason why I want it to be indoor consumption. I want people to be able to enjoy the plant and enjoy what's going on. Yes. You know the amount of stuff I miss because I'm outside smoking. I'm not a drinker. Too. Like, I'm not a drinker. Like, I used to drink. I drink occasionally. Like, and I'm Trini Jamaican, so imagine trying to explain that to my Trini side. Like, that, no, I don't. I'm not drinking anymore.
Excuse you, take this shot.
And I'm, no. And they're like, yes. And I'm like, no. And they're like, why? And the funny thing is, it's like, it's partially because one of my medications, right? So like, I have my limit of like maybe 4 drinks, which for some people, that's a lot. But I mean, from my Trini side, it's like, we're drinking, it's like double,
Everything's a double.
Right? So I'm just like, so I don't drink anymore, that much anymore, at least. So
it just lets the event have its own focus.
Exactly. Right? So I just want it to be literally about cannabis and kink, cannabis and anime, cannabis and music. I really want that to be a focus, like for people to be enjoying it while enjoying the performances going on, whether there's like a BDSM tutorial going on how to like properly do impact or how to, wax play, which we're going to have at the event. We're going to have a wax play thing, and we're going to have like a impact play session. Awesome. And I want people to be able to smoke weed while they're watching that. You know what I mean? I don't want anybody to be going outside of a weed event and missing all the stuff that's on
to smoke weed
at a weed event. Like, make it make sense.
No, I mean, it's I get it based on like the rules,
The
and you have
rules
to
and
comply with the whoever's
absolutely.
like the people that are hosting your event,
Absolutely.
or
Yeah, and that's
hosting
why,
is the wrong word, but you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah,
The venue.
and I get it, right? I get it. I get the aspect of, the government and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day, weed became legal because people had to fight the good fight.
exactly.
Somebody has to do it.
That's why.
Somebody has to start it, otherwise it's never going to happen,
Yep.
right? So like medical, like the reason why we have recreational is
Medical.
because medical,
Yeah,
right? And before
it's
medical, it was people that were literally pushing
fighting, going to
for it,
jail.
going to jail for it. You know what I mean? And it's not, it's not ideal, but somebody's got to do it. Like
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
everybody is consenting to smoking inside, that should be allowed.
Allowed. I
That
agree.
should be okay.
Absolutely.
And also there's so many different things, and like the CO2 filters and things like that, where we can make it safe. Like let's find the framework
Absolutely.
and let's make this as safe as possible.
Why not?
Like
I have a shisha lounge right next door.
exactly.
You know
So
what I mean?
it's
Like I don't understand it. I
Mhm.
really don't, because I don't know why that can operate and this can't. Like I
Mhm.
actually don't know what the reasoning is.
Yeah.
Especially if in an event like what you're throwing, which is a semi-private event,
Yep. Mhm. Yep.
and everybody is consenting.
Mhm.
Why can't we smoke inside?
Right.
I don't understand.
And that's how I operate. It's the private event,
Yeah.
like,
I
you know what I mean? Like we're
don't
all
understand. Why aren't we cool?
exactly.
We're
So
just trying to do things right. At the end of the day, you're trying to
yeah.
follow the rules to the best
Mhm.
of your ability, and
Exactly.
the guidelines how they're written.
Exactly. So then that's
it's
what
a
I'm
private
doing.
event.
I'm working, and that's the thing. I work within the guidelines,
Yeah.
and that's how we do it. And some people are like, "Oh, like you shouldn't be doing that," and blah blah blah. And it's like,
Someone's got to.
somebody's got to, you know what I mean? And not every smoker wants to be in a room where people are smoking. That's fair. Some people want to be outside, and there's events that are like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you could still go outside and smoke.
You can, and that's the thing. And people still do go outside
Yeah.
and smoke. You know what I mean? Like they go outside and smoke. Like obviously we have like no cigarettes. It's just weed. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people still will be like, oh, you know what? I want to go smoke my joint like outside, and they'll come back in just
Perfectly
because they
fine.
want fresh
That's
air.
what they're into.
Like it's literally, and that's the thing. Whatever you're into, just come as you are. Enjoy it as long as you're following our rules. Like
Yeah.
by all means, have fun. Bring your bong. Bring your rigs. Like
Yes,
literally,
light
it doesn't
up.
even have to be, take your edibles. Like enjoy yourself. Like enjoy the plant and enjoy the show. And let's like build.
You mentioned briefly there the medication that you're
Yeah.
on.
Mhm.
I know you told me when you were starting to host all these events, that something medically came up for you, and that you've had to learn how to work with that. You
Yeah.
mind telling the people a little bit about what
Yeah.
that experience,
Yeah. So, like I'm bipolar type 1. I'm very open about that.
Yeah.
Which is another thing. Mental health is so taboo. People don't really talk about it, but I feel like we need to talk about it more, and that's why
Absolutely.
people will kind of feel more normal if people know like, okay, there's other people that are going through shit
We
as
all
well.
going
Like,
through
you
some
know what I
shit.
mean? It's just like so and
Sorry, just briefly, what is
yeah.
bipolar type 1?
Yeah, so bipolar. So people think that bipolar is like, oh, you're happy one second, sad the next, and that is not at all what it is. I really wish that, I really wish that was the case. But so bipolar, it has mania on one side and depression on the other side, and when you're type 1, you go fully blown manic and fully like depressed, whereas there's type 2, which you kind of just go hypomanic, which is before going fully blown.
Yeah.
And then the depression times tend to be a lot shorter.
Gotcha.
But for me, they go on for longer periods of time. Like it can be anywhere from like weeks to months that they can go on for.
Wow.
And thankfully, I'm at a much more stable place in my life now. But before that wasn't the case, and I was just flinging back and forth between the two, and it was very, very chaotic.
Does that have to do with more with what's going on in your life, or more with the finding medications that work for you?
Well, the huge change happened. I'm a mom, so the huge change happened when I got pregnant. I found out I was like almost 4 months pregnant when I found out. I was manic, fully blown manic. I was probably been manic for maybe three months at that time, which is why I wasn't
Nothing
paying
registered.
attention.
Yeah.
And it did register, but I've also had like I have a lot of different medical issues. So I've had like tumors and cysts that I've had surgeries for. So I just figured that I was having another
Something
one.
else.
And so it was the same type of symptoms. So I was like, it's kind of a funny story. I went to the hospital after like getting so much pain, and I was like, yeah, I need an ultrasound. I'm pretty sure there's a tumor there. I'm going to have surgery. I just want to confirm it. Like,
I know what's wrong. You
Yeah.
just verify it.
Yeah. And she was like, so you know that you're pregnant and whatever. And I was like, no, I'm not pregnant. It's a tumor. And she was like, no, there's a baby in there. And I was like, no. And she was
4 months too. There's a baby.
Yeah. She was like, do you seriously not know you're pregnant? I was like, are you being serious? There's a baby in there. So that's just a whole side story. But that's the kind of things that happen when you're manic. Like it can be very, very dangerous. People think like, oh, it's just happy, sad. It's not. Like, my whole entire life can get completely destroyed. People can, cheat on their spouses that they've been married to for several years. They can divorce them, get married to somebody else, all in the same manic episode.
Yeah.
They can gamble away their whole entire house that their children live in.
Mania is
like, it's actually very quite dangerous. Like, everything is happy and great until it's really not. And then everything kind of, gets very catastrophic. So, yeah, I'm bipolar type 1. So that's kind of where those things go. The depression get really, really bad, very down. And I can kind of map out my whole entire life. When I found out, like once I found out I was bipolar, I was like, oh,
a lot
shit,
of things made sense.
This all makes sense now. I can literally map out where, the highs and the lows were and things like that. And the first really bad one actually happened because I was depressed. I finally got help. I was working and my boss was like, I'm not diagnosing you or anything, but my son went through like depression and, different mental health things. I'm kind of noticing
Some
a lot
things.
of similarities because I like wasn't showing up for work. I was kind of bursting out crying and I just started acting very out of character. You know what I mean? And she was like, I feel like you should just go to the doctor, talk about it, figure out what's going on. He's like, yep, you're definitely depressed. Didn't ask me very much other questions, gave me medication. And for those that don't know, bipolar is it's a tightrope walk.
Okay.
It's very easy for something to get triggered and for me to either go manic or depressed. I can be doing everything right and still something to get triggered. I can go on vacation and too much sun can trigger it.
Even with the medications?
Even with the medications.
Wow.
So I can be doing everything right. I can be doing all my breathing exercises. I can be going on my walks. I can be doing all my meditations. And I can literally go on vacation and too much sun will interact because, you get the sun, the energy or whatever else that can trigger it. I can have a really, really good thing happen to me. That can trigger it, right? So it doesn't have to be something bad for it to happen. It just has to be just enough for my brain chemistry to kind of change.
Regulate.
Yeah. So people think that it's like a mental health disorder, but it's a brain disorder first, which is why we have a lot of the same medications as epileptic people. Okay. So it's a brain disorder, then a sleep disorder, then it's a mental health disorder. Wow. So that's kind of like where it's so fun. It's so fun. I love it. Yeah. It's great. But yeah. So anyway, that's kind of why the diagnosis that came up when I started doing the events. It's ADHD, you know what I mean? I'm starting to do my events. Things are going and I'm very excited. So I'm like driven to like focus on it and make sure things are getting done. I'm doing things that are very out of character for myself because like, I don't really like talking to people. I don't like messaging and answering messages or doing phone calls and reaching out. You have to. So I'm doing a whole bunch of things and whatever else. And, it's going great. But then I'm kind of realizing like the attention span and doing things is
stay on one
really,
thing.
really hard to keep track, or I'll hyper focus on one thing and then completely forget about other things. And
not eat all day.
Not eat all day. I'm a mom. So it was very, very hard for me to focus on so many different things. That's another reason why my edibles business it's a little bit slower now. I can't promote it anymore because people just
can't. You just can't.
I just can't. Even when I post
Especially since you
pictures,
have the other stuff going on.
exactly.
You don't want to.
It's just
Yeah.
not the thing,
Yeah.
right? So that's kind of why, you know, I still make things. I'll make them for my event and whatever else. I have my
For
regulars, but I
orders.
just kind of like, I just keep it, you know, keep it
Smart.
simple. You know what I mean? So, forgot where I was going.
You were just saying that's what the ADHD is kind of
Yeah,
why
so the AD,
the
yeah, so
it's kind of fallen slow
yeah,
down
so
a
I've
little
had
bit.
to slow
So it's
down
just
on
hard to
that. Yeah,
manage.
exactly. It was just hard to manage. Like at the end of the day with my bipolar, I don't have a regular job because I can't do a
Yeah,
regular job.
which is fair.
I've made peace with the fact that I cannot
Doesn't work
do
for
a
you.
regular job. Even when I was working in the cannabis industry, right? Like I went to school, I went to AAPS to do like the cannabis program that they had there. And then I went to work at an LP, a very small one. You know, it
Good
was
for you.
good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I was like the third person that they hired on. I was the second person to the grower. And there
Which
was
is awesome.
only one propagation room and one room that they had already started. There was about 15 rooms total, and I helped them build it from scratch. So
Yep.
I wasn't just growing, I was literally building,
growing,
yeah, the
everything.
irrigation systems, everything from start to bottom, you know.
That's what being a grower is.
Exactly. So I enjoyed it. It was a good time, like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But eventually it
Hard
kind
to
of
sustain.
it was hard to sustain, and the politics of it in the legal, it wasn't great. I didn't like that. They weren't listening too great.
Yep.
And it was like, okay, you can pay for this. That might be like $5,000 to $10,000, or you can not listen to us and then pay way more later, and they would never listen. And then of course it would always happen.
Just big business.
Exactly. So it was just, yeah, I didn't really like that aspect of it, right?
Yep.
So
It sours the industry. It makes you not like things that you love because it's become greed.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not gonna be a part of something that I can't put my heart behind.
That's a super
when
valid.
it's-
I really
it's
appreciate
like-
people like that because there's a lot of people like I get it. You got it. You have to do what you got to do to live.
Yeah.
But if you can't get behind it yourself,
Yeah,
like,
no,
I don't know,
no,
you
no. I'm
know?
not going to be helping people that are growing things and they know they're growing things in a moldy room, and now they're going to
Exactly.
try to sell it to people. Like, I'm not going to be okay with
It's
that.
just
Like,
irradiated. It's okay.
and it's like, no, it's not. We're not. What do we like? This like
They don't care. They don't care.
so anyway, so yeah, I did, you know, I was, you know, doing the growing thing
Yeah.
there, and yeah, just even with that, even when I was doing something that I loved and
Just
whatever,
didn't
it
work.
still caught up. It still caught up to me, and I needed a different schedule because like the way I am and the medication that I take, like I take medication to shut me down because I can be up all night. Like I just like I can very much just not stop. My brain
Yeah.
doesn't stop. So I
Yeah.
have medication that shuts me down. It's a heavy sedative and also a mood stabilizer. And I have a medication in the morning that helps me to get going.
Get going. So you got to balance it out.
Yeah, exactly. So finding a job that is able to kind of work with me and in my
super
different
difficult,
mental
for sure.
things and my different moods and such, it's not
Probably just doesn't even exist.
easy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't. And actually, I kind of had that at that job, but then the people were getting the other workers were getting jealous and upset. And even though I was working the same amount of hours as
Yeah.
everybody else, like, you know what I mean? If I
But
started late, I was working late and whatever
But
else.
once it becomes corporate, they need structure.
Yeah, exactly. And then so people were just getting upset and like, oh, well, why does she get to do it and I don't get to? And it's like, well, she has an actual, like, you know, and if you have something, then, you know, you can bring it
We'll
to
figure
the
that out.
table, but they didn't actually have something. They just wanted to be able to show up a little bit, you know.
It's
So
equality versus equity.
right.
You
So
know,
if
people want, they're like, oh, she gets to do that. Yeah, but she's got to deal with all this other stuff.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
You want to deal with all that? No, you don't.
Yeah. So it's not easy for jobs to be able to like accommodate for certain things,
Yeah.
which I get, and then it also just creates kind of a toxic situation as well,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But yeah. So the whole I imagine now maybe the ADHD is probably playing a factor on that. So
Yeah.
of me not being able to do a regular 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
So finding out that I have ADHD was very interesting, but it made sense because my mom was supposed to get me tested several times and didn't.
There you
right?
go.
She didn't want to put me on medication, but I really wish she just got me tested so that I can get
Then
the
you-
actual tools to
Yep,
work
yep.
because you don't need to put anybody on
I got
medication.
super.
You know.
I got super lucky that I had a teacher that was
Mhm.
super involved in helping kids basically get diagnosed. And,
Yeah.
I actually started. I actually got a IEP and was diagnosed in middle school.
Mhm.
I got the IEP, and then in high school I got diagnosed with ADHD,
Right.
and it helped me a lot learning that I had ADHD, you know,
Right.
because then I
Yeah.
could combat it. You know, they put me on medication, and it helped
Mhm.
me when I was in school. But then when
Mhm.
I got into the workforce, I found that it was too much for me. It was taking too much off of who I
Mhm.
was. And
Right.
I found that I was able to manage it just by, I upped my cannabis consumption when I have bouts of, I
Mhm.
don't know,
Yeah.
bouts of
Yeah.
ADHD, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. When it gets bad, when
Yeah.
the levels get turned up a bit too much, I just
Mhm.
start smoking endless joints.
No, and that's how it is for me. Like I smoke back to back to back, and it's
So
like
that
people will be like, "Oh, like, do you really have to do that?" And I'm like, "Well, it's a lot better than taking the other medications that they want me on. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So
Like
that
they,
was my next question.
yeah,
With cannabis, when
mm-hmm,
did cannabis come into the picture for you?
yeah,
Was it when you were younger, or was it through this whole finding out
mm-hmm,
you were bipolar and had ADHD?
yeah,
Did
yeah.
cannabis come in then?
So cannabis came into play. So the very first time I smoked weed was in grade 7. I was leaving school from Toronto. I was going to Ajax. My sister had already been smoking. I have a twin, and she was like, "Come on, Raven!" Like she was friends with like the skater boys, right? And she
Yes.
was like, "Come on, Raven! Like like we're leaving. Let's just smoke with them, whatever." So I was like, "All right, cool." I tried it. It wasn't my thing. Like I was an athlete at the time, so I was like, "I don't like this
Not for
feeling.
me.
Not for me."
Yeah.
It wasn't flash forward till 1920s, and I was partying with my friend, and she was smoking weed, and I was had like very stressed. She was like, "Maybe you just like try this," and I'm like, "No, I tried it. It wasn't my thing." She's like, "Just try
Try
it." That
again.
was a long time.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. Try it.
Life is different.
I tried it, and I was like, "This is
Different.
this is different. This is something. This is doing a lot for me." So it was very, very helpful.
Yeah.
Finding out that I was bipolar, and trying to uh when you're bipolar and cannabis, they don't like that.
Yes.
Psychiatrists, it's a
Yep.
huge like no. They feel like it will like
They
exasperate it,
feel
make
like they
things
don't. Yeah.
worse.
Especially if
um
you're taking other medications too.
exactly. So I understand the fear and stuff because it is actually a thing. I am more of an outlier when it comes to bipolar. But there are other bipolar people that I know that do smoke weed and absolutely helps them, and it
Yeah.
doesn't
It's got to be a
exasperate
person to
anything.
person thing.
Exactly. And so, I'm always very careful to tell people like if they
It,
are bipolar,
be careful.
be very careful, like take the time. Like I had to heavily advocate for myself, like
Yeah.
to be able to use it. Like I had to convince my family doctor, convince the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist got a second opinion from somebody who was more pro cannabis.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had to like go through all the different strains, and I had my cannabis diary, and I would like, talk about like, what the effects were,
What
and
worked
keep
for
really
you,
good track
which
of
is
it.
huge.
And
That's a lot of work that you put in because you're
yeah.
treating it as an actual medicine.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's one thing that I feel like is very important is to treat it like a medicine,
Yeah.
especially if you're using it that way.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
I also use for like chronic pain as well. So I find that, it's very helpful for like my mental health, for the anxiety, for, the depression. It's great just like for like that social aspect.
Yeah.
And, just in a recreational way, like I just enjoy it. I don't like being hungover and things like that. Right. So,
Awesome.
using it for medication has been lovely.
Yeah.
I very much like encourage people if they can use cannabis to try it. There's
Yeah.
so many different forms.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So if
It's not for everyone,
it's
but if you're curious
yeah.
and you're of age,
Yeah.
you should try
Explore it.
explore and try different strains and figure out what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It helps me a lot. So
Yeah. It's so easy to be like, yeah, it didn't work out like this strain, but I'm like, was it like what type of strain was it? What were the terpenes involved in it? Like, what are you actually trying to use it for?
Exactly.
And maybe go there. Some people are just like, oh, the highest THC, and they're like, oh, this is not working for me. And then it's like, well, that's probably
you set yourself up.
Yeah, that's probably the first part.
Drank straight moonshine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite way to smoke?
I'm a joint girl. I love spliffs. I love blunts. Like that. The smoke factor will always be the way for me.
It's ritualistic to me, so
yes,
I'm with you.
The breaking up the weed, every part of rolling a joint, smoking it is so great for me. It's actually like you said, a ritual. Like, so it really is a ritual for me. It's a great time for me to meditate, for me to like just organize my thoughts. Like, I can just sit there and just break up weed for a long time. If I'm at a party and I'm breaking up weed, people are like, "Oh, like, oh, are you okay?" Blah blah. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm
like,
good.
I
This
am
is just
enjoying
me.
this.
This is just, yeah, exactly."
I'm in touch with Mother Earth right now.
Literally, I am in my happy place right now.
I love it.
So,
I absolutely love it.
mhm.
What do you got coming next? I know you got your show. Just what quick rundown.
Yeah. So up next is October 25th.
Yes.
So we have it's the Cannabis and Kink anime put together. So like the Anime Asylum, Kink and Kush is going to be a great time. So as I said, there's going to be Neo Tamari. So MJ is going to be doing that. We have Exhibitionist Meets Voyeur. So they're doing the Impact play session, and they're also going to be doing a wax play session while also doing a bit of tutorial. So they're going to be letting people know like what are the good spots to do and things like that.
Awesome.
We're gonna be doing like playing a bit of anime, but we're also gonna be doing like a hentai bit as well. We have the music section. And just like a few other things. So we also might be having like another exhibitionist thing, which is like a girl and her husband, and they enjoy group play. So that hasn't been officially confirmed, but we might be doing that as well. So that event is going to be a really good time. And then the after party at Oasis is the following day. So that's going to be great.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then moving forward, we're going to have definitely more kink, more anime separate, more music. I believe the playlist party is probably where I'm going to be leaning towards next for the music event. And yeah, it's
Awesome.
just good times ahead.
Anyone you want to shout out? Any last things like that before we wrap up?
Yeah. Well, I want to shout out the Dangforth, obviously. The people there, so great. I want to shout out all like the dope vendors, High Society Supper Club. Rena is so great in the cannabis space. Like, she's just so fucking dope. Like, Canna Crawl. So like, I gotta shout out my girl Rena.
Yes.
And Coach Mike. Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. I don't want to name people because then I forget. I always feel bad, you know what I mean? But like all the vendors that are a part of my events, you guys can go to my page and see like it's just really, really good people that love the plant, care about the plant, and yeah, I want to shout out my pages. So I have Red Eyed Raven Official. That's my main page where you can find things. I have Caname. I have Higher Vibrations Music, and I have the 50 Shades Canna Kink. It used to be 50 Shades of Green events, but that one got taken down, and I did not get that back, unfortunately. So I have to rebuild that page. So be sure to check them out and follow me. And yeah, there's lots of very cool things.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming out again. Thanks for, spreading the love through the whole community and sharing everything and doing everything you do for the community.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do. This is great. I appreciate you having me.
To everyone watching, if you enjoy what we're doing, make sure to like, follow, and share on YouTube at High Passion Pod and on Instagram and Spotify at High Passion Podcast. If you want to keep up with our guest today, drop her a follow on Instagram at Red Eye Raven Official, or come and see her at Anime Asylum, Kink and Kush, October 25th. I want to give a huge shout out to Sean Sweeney at Sean CS10 for everything you do for the podcast and making this all happen. And to all our viewers, I hope you tune in next time. And until then, stay positive and stay passionate.